youtube.com/MugenLord. Subscribe to the channel for gaming news, updates, discussion, and live streams. Signing off.
Hey everyone, this is MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another video. And today I want to talk about a particular company that's been on my mind lately. And in this video, it's going to be a little bit different. Just step away from fighting games in general. Just talk about gaming overall. But this one company I really want to talk about is Microsoft with the Xbox One and just with the Xbox brand in general. Is because I don't know, like this generation, Microsoft had really dropped the ball. Starting out. With this generation, a lot of fans felt pretty much felt like they were betrayed by Microsoft because of some of the decisions that they made with the Xbox One at the beginning, with the whole DRM and with it being connected 24/7 online, and also having Connect built in. They were trying to force the whole Connect, and it just didn't work out well at all. And then of course Don Matrix didn't make it any better with some of the comments that he made. So a lot of the gamers had pretty much jumped ship and went back over to Sony with the PS4, and this was pretty much a good opportunity for Sony to pretty much cash in on that as well. So ever since that, Phil Spencer came in and he tried to turn things around, and he has been turning things around, but it seemed like it's been too late to pretty much get that momentum back with the Xbox One. So they're pretty much looking forward with their next gen console, and I don't really blame them at all. So in this video I just want to talk about how the whole Microsoft brand with the Xbox had pretty much changed console gaming for me overall, and in a good way. Is because Microsoft had pretty much contributed a lot to how gaming is viewed today, you know. So I remember back when they first announced the original Xbox, and I believe it's back in 2000, and I think in 2000, at the time in year 2000, I was in 8th grade. I was in, middle school, about to graduate pretty soon. And I remember looking in the newspaper, and they was talking about that Microsoft decided that they wanted to join in the console war. Now I was quite skeptical about this, is because I mean, when I think of Microsoft at the time, I think about Microsoft Windows 95, Windows 98. I think about Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, and I wasn't really a PC gamer, so I wasn't really too familiar with PC gaming and some of the games that Microsoft had their hands in. So me hearing about Microsoft working on a console and it's going to compete against Sega and Sony and Nintendo, it just sounded so weird to me. And it's kind of funny because that was the same type of feeling that I had when Sony had pretty much announced that they was going to step into the race with the PlayStation. I didn't know how to feel about that, but now you look at Sony's became a household name, a household recognized brand when it comes to gaming consoles and stuff. So just hearing about it, it really had me scratching my head. But not too long after that, I remember, since I live in Philadelphia, we had the Daily News and the Inquirer as well. And I remember when they first revealed what the console was going to look like and everything, and then they decided they was going to call the console the Xbox. And I remember looking at the article, and it had the picture of the Xbox, and it suddenly changed my mind. It kind of got me interested in it, is because of not only that, it was the color and it's the controller. I don't know, it was something about the Xbox, the original Xbox, that it resembled a Dreamcast in a way. And looking at the design, looking at the controller and where you put the memory cards at, it reminded me of the Dreamcast, where you put the VMU cards inside the controller and everything. So look at the design itself, really had me intrigued, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a try. I want to see how Microsoft is going to handle this. And also, we also have to think about this too. We really didn't have any other alternatives besides the major three, which was Sony, Sega, and of course Nintendo. So these were all Japanese developed consoles and everything. So now that Atari is not around, we didn't have any Western developed consoles. So this was a newly designed Western developed console. So I was like, you know what, I'm open to this. So not only that, after I seen that and seen the resemblance that it had of the Dreamcast, it really got me stoked. But it wasn't until 9th grade in 2001 when I went to high school was when the console was pretty much on its way being launched. And I remember going to the electronic boutique, because yes, electronic boutique was a thing of the past and the thing of the time. I remember my father and Keo, we all went up to Franklin Mills. At the time now it's called Philadelphia Mills, but it was called Franklin Mills at the time. And I remember going up there, and he had the Xbox for the first time playable. You was able to get your hands on it, and that was during the day where you was able to put your reserves down for the console. Now, during this time, the Xbox and the Nintendo GameCube were coming out around the same time, one weekend after the other. So I had to choose either the GameCube or the Xbox. Now, my father was getting the Xbox, so I was like, you know what, my dad's getting the Xbox, and I know my dad's gonna allow me to play his Xbox. So, and me, I'm a big Nintendo fan, so you know, I had to get the GameCube, and plus Smash Brothers Melee was coming out at the time as well, so I got the GameCube. But while I was there, I finally got a chance to see what the Xbox looked like up close and personal. And I remember in the display, it had Munch Odyssey, which is the sequel or whatever to the Abe's Odyssey, and it was coming to the original Xbox. And for the first time, I had got my hands on that big wonky Duke controller, and to me, I love the controller, and I'll talk more about that controller in a little bit later in the video. But I finally got my hands on the Xbox, and it was something that I've never seen before. And looking at it and everything, the Xbox to me, I thought was just like the pinnacle of gaming as far as visuals concerned. The graphics was something I've never seen before, and I really thought that, hey, I can't see graphics getting any better than the Xbox. It was just amazing, and the type of horsepower that it had and the games that it had, especially when I first got my hands on Halo Combat Evolved. And now, in my opinion, I was never really into first-person shooters, but it was something about Halo. When I first booted Halo up for the first time and I got my hands on that big controller and got a chance to play it, the voice acting, the orchestra music, and the soundtrack to Halo, it pulls you right into that world of Halo. And I played it, and it was just amazing to me, just something I've just never seen before, and I can still remember how vivid it is in my head, and I just enjoyed that experience, you know, playing the Xbox. And then it wasn't until 2002 was when I bought my first Xbox console of my own for Christmas of 2002, and I remember the games that I bought, and I remember it was Valkyrie. I've also got my hands on Metal Dungeon. I had quite a few cringy games. I had Jet Set Future, and that was the thing that really had really got me into the Xbox as well, is because Sega and Microsoft had also partnered together to come out with some exclusive titles, which I just mentioned one of them, which was Jet Set Future. And then we had gotten Shenmue 2, we had the House of the Dead series, and we also got Crazy Taxi. So it was kind of like me reliving that Dreamcast era, but now it's being ported over to the original Xbox, which got me hyped. And another thing that changed the way I view gaming as a gamer with the Xbox was the fact is that this console, unlike the PlayStation consoles where you needed a memory card in order to save majority of your progress on you know, for your games, the original Xbox had a built-in hard drive. It was something I never heard of. I never heard before. I never seen before. A built-in hard drive, and that really got me super excited. It was because now I ain't worry about going out getting a memory card, even though you can buy a memory card, so you don't have to carry your console all around wherever you go. But I never bought not one memory card for the Xbox. I had my console. Everything I was able to save and install into my Xbox, and I just thought it was just something amazing to me. I just never thought that we would have a console where we can just save all our progress and all our data right there. And then after that, I want to mention also the multiplayer. Microsoft had took multiplayer to a whole nother level. I remember with the Nintendo 64, where they introduced the console and it had the 4 controller slots, and it let gamers know that, yo, this is a console where we want everyone to be in the living room and be able to play together with one another. Instead of it being 2 players, how about 4 people sitting on the couch? And Microsoft stepped it up to a whole nother level, because with this console, you was able to do LAN play. You was able to hook up your Xbox into a hub, and you was able to connect up to 4 Xboxes. We had up to 16 players. We actually had 16-player Halo. We did capture the flag. I thought it was just amazing that we was able to do that. And what was crazy about it as well was when I got to college, and it was funny is because I got my Xbox, went to college, and we have the Ethernet port in our wall in our dorms in Mansfield, and it was back in 2005 too. I remember this very, very clearly. And I remember one time I took my Xbox to the Ethernet cable, and I plugged it into the Ethernet port in the wall. Now, what was so funny was our dorm was actually a hub, because once I connected my Ethernet cord into the from the Xbox into the wall, it was able to find other Xbox consoles plugged up in the dorms. Like my neighbor my neighbor right across from me, and it was a couple other consoles, a couple other players who had Xboxes plugged into the wall, and we were able to play multiplayer from our rooms. We was connected to other Xboxes in that hall, and it was amazing. We could hear each other yelling because we just couldn't believe it. We all discovered it at the same time, and I just thought that was super exciting. And I appreciate the effort that Microsoft had put into multiplayer. And let's talk about Xbox Live, because I think this is the most important thing. The important contribution to gaming, console gaming in general, is because Xbox Live had also took online gaming and multiplayer to the next levels. Because before, Dreamcast had pretty much, with Sega, had dabbled in it with their online play with Phantasy Star Online and Quake 3 Arena and a couple other titles, but they haven't really pushed the envelope at, like with online gaming. But with Microsoft, they took it to the next level with Xbox Live. Xbox Live was something I never even imagined, and then they took away the keyboard chatting because they didn't want keyboard chat. They want you to actually talk to players from anywhere across the world with the Xbox Live headset. It was something I've never heard of, I've never seen before. And like I said before, I wasn't a PC gamer, so PC gaming and online gaming in the PC community was something very foreign for me. I was never familiar with. But when it came to console gaming, this was it. Xbox Live was it. I remember playing Halo 2 online, Crimson Sky online, Unreal Championship online, Mech Warrior or Mechassault. I think it was, yeah, Mechassault online. It was Dead or Alive collection that was online for the Xbox. It was so many games that they brought over to the Xbox Live platform or the network, and it was so amazing because it was nothing I never imagined or dreamed of. Just sitting there, and I'm actually speaking and talking to somebody on the other end of the planet, on the other end of the earth, and actually building like friendships and building relationships with other players that I have never seen before once ever in my life. And we actually able to sit down, we have a friend list, we have a chat, and we just hit each other up and just play with these players. So it pretty much took away that I don't need people to be in the living room with me anymore. Especially as you grow up and you're becoming an adult, you have more responsibilities and everything, and you don't have time to get together with your friends and sit in the living room to play the games together. Now you can just sit in your living room, and if they're in their house, or if they move somewhere from like New York City or Canada or Japan or whatever, I can still play the game and share those experience with my best friends or family members and everything. And I just thought that was just something cool that Microsoft had brought to the table, and I was just like super excited about it. Not only that, then Microsoft had promised us and stepped up their game, of course, with the Xbox 360. Now, the Xbox 360 to me, in my opinion, was just a weird name. I was expecting like the Xbox 2 or something like that, because Microsoft, PlayStation did PlayStation, and then they did the PlayStation 2 and everything, and then you got the next thing in line was PlayStation 3. But their next console was the Xbox 360, which was, to me, also revolutionary, because they also stepped up their Xbox Live as well. Now you have your gamer tags, now you have your Xbox Live avatars. They had they also had the reward system where you collect points and everything when you get rewards for completing certain challenges and everything. It was so much that Microsoft took from the original Xbox, and they just made it better. They just enhanced the experience even more with the Xbox 360. And Xbox 360 had pretty much became my console of choice for that generation. Even though I had the Nintendo Wii, and I had a lot of games on the Nintendo Wii, but Xbox 360 was the home of everything I played on. I had all my friends at the Xbox 360, so I had all my friends to play multiplayer games with. And then they also had more exclusive deals with Japan, where they bought us a lot of JRPGs like Last Remnant. They also bought us over Star Ocean. What else did we get? We got Tales of Vespera. We got Eternal Sonata. It was so many Japanese games that was coming to the Xbox 360. And even though Microsoft, even though they attempted real hard to try to sway over the Japanese audience with the Xbox 360, it just didn't sway them good enough, and which I thought was pretty sad, because I thought that they had some good games, especially like Infinite Undiscovery, still one of my favorite JRPGs on the Xbox 360 game console. And I'm just thinking about hopefully they bring it to the Xbox Live Store or something like that. I would definitely like to play that again. But the Xbox 360 was such a great console, and it also got me back into fighting. It got me into fighting games really heavy, especially with Street Fighter 4, and it got me into using the arcade sticks and everything like that. So that console had really changed me and shaped me as a gamer, and it got me into trying different genres besides RPGs. Got definitely heavily into fighting games, got into shooters, and I tried a ton of different games because I had a bunch of friends that were into different things. So I was like, hey, if I want to continue to play different games with my friends and socialize and network with other gamers, let me try other games, especially with Gears of War. I've been playing Gears of War for some time as well, and then the Resident Evil 5 game that was released where I was able to play co-op with that. It was just so many different things that the Xbox 360 had brought to the table. But sadly, Microsoft, I guess you could say, they got a little ahead of themselves with the next console, which was the Xbox One. I don't know why they decided to go a different direction with it. They decided they wanted to make a multimedia machine where it just doesn't play video games, it does everything. It pretty much, you can watch cable TV, you can live chat with other players and everything. You had Netflix on it. It was just everything but a gaming machine, something that fans had felt as though that they turned their backs on them. They betrayed them, because people want to know, gamers want to know about games, and it felt like they were so out of touch because they were, you could say at the time, they was like ahead of its competition. Like, everyone had an Xbox, everybody loved the Xbox brand, and they got a little ahead of themselves. And especially when Nintendo had introduced motion controls and everything, so they figured that motion controls would be the future of gaming. So they decided to this time have the Kinect built into the console and everything, and it made the system underpowered. Then, compared to its competition with the PS4, it was just a whole complete mess. And the sad part about it is I decided to skip out on the Xbox One because the PS4 was just the better alternative, and it was a much more powerful console. And even though that games pretty much went multi-plat, I was able to get all those games on the PS4. I didn't have to, Microsoft didn't have enough exclusives to warrant me to want to go out and buy an Xbox One, sadly. And this is the first time in me as a gamer to not have all the competitor consoles in a generation. This is the first time. Every generation I had all the competitor consoles, but this generation I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna skip out on the Xbox One. I would just stick with the PS4. There was nothing appealing to me, and Xbox have a whole variety of IPs that they decide to abandon and turn their back on, like Blinks, Fusion Frenzy. They have the Perfect Dark franchise. They have the Banjo-Kazooie franchise. Of course, they brought back Killer Instincts, but now they also have Battletoads. They have a lot of these different franchises that they can revive and bring, to a more modern era down and everything. And I believe that they're going to try harder with this next console. So I'm hoping that Microsoft really does well with the next console. I'm really hoping, and from the looks of it and how it sounds, they've been buying up a lot of the competition. They bought a lot of new studios, especially like Ninja Theory, because the creators that did the DMC remake, and they bought us Hellblade and a couple other games. They bought that studio and a couple other studios, so it looks like they're looking forward into the future. And Microsoft has always been looking forward. They just went about it the wrong way. They want to go, they know that gaming is going to go all digital soon. They also want to take advantage of cloud gaming as well, and it seemed like they really wanted to push that with the Xbox One, and gamers was like, hell no, you're not doing this, especially with the whole DRM thing. So it seems like they want to try a different approach, hopefully a different approach with the next gen console. So I'm looking forward to see what they do with that. But before I close out this video, was another thing I just wanted to show off to you guys, because since I've just had this nostalgic trip for the Xbox brand, I decided that, hey, I don't know what it was. It was, like I said before, it was the the Duke controller that really made me a fan of the Xbox. Like I said, it reminded me of the Dreamcast controller in a way, and I love the design of the controller, even though fans of the Xbox didn't like the original controller because of how bulky it was, and a lot of people have small hands, but I have pretty big hands, and they changed the controller just to also cater to the Japanese audience, because a lot of Japanese players and just Japanese people in general had smaller hands, so they decided to recreate the controller and everything. So me having this nostalgia trip, I wound up going onto IGN, and I seen that they did a recreation of the Duke controller. So I went online just looking for it. I said, oh my god, I need to get my hands on this, and I end up going to Amazon, and I end up getting the Xbox One version of the original Xbox Duke controller. It's for Windows 10 as well, so you can also plug it up into the computer and everything. So I'll just open it and just to show you guys this controller. I just think it's pretty neat, man. It just takes me back in time and everything, man. I just love the Xbox, the original Xbox, really do, man. So here it is right here, the original Xbox controller right here. I had to get it since this is for the, also you can work it on the Xbox One and the PC. It also has a home button which you can click in and everything, which I find pretty cool. Is, let me take this plastic off, it's in the way. Here's the USB cord and everything. So I'm gonna just unwrap this real quick to show you guys something really cool that really got me going as a gamer and everything. I'm gonna plug this in right here.
Listen, man.
1 second, bear with me. There we go. So I'm gonna plug this in because this is really cool. I'm gonna plug this into my PC real quick, if I can get this cord out of the way, which I thought was pretty neat. Plug this in and look at this. You see this? Hope you can see it. It actually has the opening of when you first boot up the original Xbox. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is straight up beautiful, man. This is a beautiful piece of hardware right here. And so I decided, I know a lot of you guys saying, oh my god, MugenLord, you using this crappy controller and everything. So like I said, I got me a nice gaming, powerful enough to play a lot of high-powered games on the PC. So I decided that, hey, this will be my controller of choice when I play like shooters or whatever, like RPGs or platformers or whatever like that on my PC. I decided that, hey, this is what I'm gonna use to play PC games and everything. And that was one of the main reasons why I had gotten this controller, not just for the nostalgia, but to also, you know, play it as well, PC gaming. So that pretty much wraps up this video. This was just, you know, me wanting to talk to you guys, you know, just about gaming in general, but Microsoft and how much it had, you know, an impact on my life as a gamer and what it contribute to gaming, to the gaming industry in general. And hopefully I'll do another video, one about Sony and maybe one about Nintendo in the future. But if you like this type of video and this kind of video like this, see more or hear more, and, you know, in terms of this type of content, definitely leave that in the comment section below. I definitely want to hear your opinions, but I definitely want to hear, what was your experience, your first experience with the Xbox brand, and what games really brought you into the whole Microsoft brand? I definitely want to know in the comment section below. And what's your opinion on Xbox Live compared to PlayStation Network and the online service that Nintendo got? Definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. And which one is your favorite controller when it comes to the Xbox brand? Was it the Duke controller, or was it the S controller, the smaller version, or the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One controller? Definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. But that wraps up this video. Make sure you like the video, pass it, share it around, and also hit the bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. This is MugenLord signing off. See you game fiends later. Peace out. It looks like you reached the end of the video. Well, while you're at it, check out some of my other discussion videos by clicking on the annotations below, and don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms to stay up to date with future content. Signing off.